Stream Elements bildirimimiz geldi. Yavaştan başlayabiliriz. En son 2 kişi beraber kaçmıştık. Şimdi oyunun alternatif finallerini avlayacağız. Dün biraz uğraştım ama çok saçma yerlere gittiği için çok uzadı. O yüzden biraz daha araştırıp daha temiz bir şekilde bitirmeye karar verdim. Uçalım.
Behind me. The only problem... I'm going to take that. I'm done. There won't be enough time. There's no time. Wait. What? I hate you.
Normalde bunu bırakmıştık. Bu sefer bırakmayacağım.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Sonlardan biri bu adamı öldürmek. Bir önceki sona benziyor.
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al. Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Funny you should ask. I was just reading an old tablet I found here. Well, trying. My Latin is kind of rusty, but the last entry mentioned someone with the same name. It described an event about 2,000 years ago. Someone with your name appeared in the city out of the shrine of Proserpina and murdered a local magistrate, breaking some kind of ancient law. It said that the voice of a furious god rang out, and the ground trembled and statues sprang to life, firing arrows at the city's inhabitants. Apparently, as the citizens screamed and died in pain, the stranger just vanished in a flash of light. What? You're saying you were here 2,000 years ago? I'm not sure I understand. I'm sorry, come again? Let me see that. God, why does this writing look so familiar? I've spent a lifetime in this place going around and around in circles.
Hoş geldin.
This is disturbing, but I don't understand how I could have written it.
Direkt başladım. Şeyi öldürdüm. Magistri. Septimus mudur? Nedir var ya. Sonlardan biri o. Bir önceki sona benziyor biraz.
I'm not following. So you're saying, because a man from 2,000 years ago is dead, he never created a time portal, so I never went through it, and that's why I don't remember any of this.
Evet, Sextus Sentius.
I guess. So what you're really saying is, you brought me back from the dead to let me die all over again. You saw the tablet. I spent a lifetime searching for a way out and never found one. I can't see how I could possibly find one now, so it seems like we're both gonna die here. A mistake? You murdered a man in cold blood, and now there's a city full of dead people. It's only a matter of time before we join them. I guess all those old Latin inscriptions were right. Pro peccata unius multis dolabant. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Evet, kızdı çünkü burada şeyde kaldık, tuzakta kaldık. Yeraltı şehrindeyiz, gelecekteyiz. Hani hiçbir şey yok. Geçmişte olsa ne bir yaşama şansımız olur. Çıkışı yok falan. Öyle saçma bir durum. Bu direkt hani kızı serbest bırakmıştım, kaçmıştık ya. Oraya gittim, seni bırakmıyorum dedim. Hemen döndüm, gittim babasını öldürdüm. Onu öldürünce paradoks oluştu çünkü bizi geçmişe o adam çekiyordu. Şimdi bir alternatif daha var. Aynı yerden devam edeceğiz. Bu da ilkine benziyor. Bunu da şöyle yapacağım.
You. Who are you? Did he send you? Thank you. You want... I'm going. There won't be... There's no... What?
Şimdi bundan kaçış için bilgileri aldık. Turu sıfırlatacağım. Atlayamadık suya. Ben adamı önceki öldürmeye çalıştığımda öldürememiştim ama geçen sefer iyi öldürdüm. Biraz inatçı biri. Kolay ölmüyor. Tam da beni çek.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Şimdi döngüyü sıfırlayacağız. Dayı sıfırladı bizi.
Salve, friend.
Evet.
What? That's a big ask, but I doubt I'll be able to gather.
Gün sıfırlandı ve buna dedik ki sen milleti topla.
All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm.
Şimdi aynı yere gideceğiz.
You're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you? Well, it's your funeral.
Sal beni. Böyle sert mert duruyorsun. Oku çektim mi yapışırsın yani. Ama burada bir tane iskeletor var. Dikkatli gidelim. Tek iskeleti indirebilirdiniz ya. O kadar zor bir şey değil. Tamam, altın okunuz yok belki ama. Normal bir ok atardınız, parçalanırdı falan. Böyle ne bileyim bir sopa mopa, tamam. Silah yasak, kılıç olmaz ama.
You. You. Do you know you're here? We. What? God, am I going? How did you know? Wait. Did you hear that? He's here. He must be coming in through the door behind me. You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
Burası önceki izlediğimizin aynısı. Aslında komple aynı.
Where is she?
Bu sefer farklı diyalogları seçeceğim.
So that is how it's going to be. Oh well, this doesn't change anything for me. It's a shame, really. If you'd just done what you were supposed to, you'd have been looping through time forever until you gave up and killed yourself. Come now. Surely you didn't think you were the only... You see, my connection to the portal somehow preserved... But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking he was a moralistic fellow. Never. And because of that fatal flaw, I watched him come through the portal each time. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about, the next time I awoke, I'd have preferred if you'd give just the two, not many. But don't worry, I'm sure there'll be in any case, there's no escape. Better to end it all now. So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it? Do you really think you can take on a... Who? Scintilla?
Hiç uzatmadım bu sefer konuşmayı.
Right here, Father.
Kız da bütün konuşmayı bekliyor. En dramatik anda yakmak için.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Evet.
Come on. We have to go. The others
Aha.
should be right behind us. Hey. What's happening
Evet.
to you?
İkinci sonun şeyi bu.
Right. It,
2,5. son.
right.
Şimdi farkı göstereceğim.
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al. Well, here I am. Funny you should ask. I was just reading an old tablet I found. It described an event about two freed an imprisoned woman named Scintilla, who then murdered her captor, breaking some kind of ancient law. It said the attack caused golden statues to come alive, hunting down everyone in the city and turning them into gold. Apparently, Scintilla and a handful of other citizens managed to escape, while the stranger disappeared in a flash of light.
Farkı bu.
What? You're saying you were here 2,000 years ago? I'm not sure I understand. I'm sorry, come again? Let me see that. God, why does this writing look so familiar? I've spent a lifetime in this place going around and around in circles. This is disturbing, but I don't understand how I could have written it. I'm not following. So you're saying, because a man from 2,000 years ago is dead, he never created a time portal, so I never went through it, and that's why I don't remember any of this. I guess you saved my life then, as well as helping a bunch of others to escape. That's a lot to take in. Maybe we can escape through the same aqueduct Scintilla used, if we can find it.
Öncekinde de yine bu şehirdeyiz ama çıkış açık olmadığı için kaçamıyoruz. Hani az önce adamı öldürdüm. Sonra tekrar gelecekti, yine buraya geldik falan. Burayı kapatıyor.
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else. You go on ahead.
You're back. But you're alone. Oh, what a relief. Thank you so much. Why don't... Ah, I see.
Oh.
I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Caroline, if you like. I am sorry I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not.
İnandım.
But I have learned from 5,000 years of experience that most people find comfort in that you died, of course. You
Söylediğimizi
can
falan
just
ya.
call me Caroline, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely... I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned that
Tekrar aynı yere gelmişiz.
usually, most souls ask yourself, as you wish, you were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics, including two. Unfortunately, as you emerged into daylight, a nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your. You both fought bravely. There was nothing you or he died instantly at the scene. That man's name. You were each in possession of a sacred coin called Karen.
Bizim adam arkeolog. Orada gümüş coin buluyor. Hırsızlar soymaya geliyor. Al, orada yürüyüş yapıyor, bize yardıma geliyor falan. Bir tane onda, bir tane bizim elimizde ölüyoruz. Onlarla öldüğümüz için de Underworld'e gidiyoruz.
Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans bearing well. Those stories. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver
Coinlerden de
coins
1000 tane var.
and had me. My orders were simple. Whenever a person, that is a question you would have to ask him. I am just his servant. Only now, I find myself bereft of purpose. You see, there is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody. I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself. Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe. There was a tablet. Supposedly, the city was destroyed when a woman, my new friend here. I know how crazy.
Maybe not that crazy.
How could you?
She left a tablet of her own. I think she meant... Here.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever
Şimdi farkını söylüyorum. Öncekinde Scintilla ile beraber kaçmıştık. Diğer herkes ölmüş. Daha doğrusu Scintilla tek kaçtı. Biz paradoks oluşturup zamanda ileri gittik. Yani kendi zamanımıza döndük. Kapı açık olduğu için de oradan kaçabildik. Mesela az önceki sonda şey oldu. Yine aynısı oldu. Herkes öldü ama kapı açık değildi. O yüzden sonsuza kadar orada kaldık. Bu önceki gün oynadığımdan farkı da şu. Girişte adamla konuştuk, yani milleti kaçır dedik. O yüzden şunlar var. Octavia, Lucretia, bu şeydi. Doktordu. Horatius, Sentius'un koruması gibi bir şeydi. Equita da şey. Priestess. Octavia kimdi hatırlayamadım. Tabi herkes kaçamamış. Ulpius şeydi galiba. İntihar eden çocuk. Galerius da herkese yardım eden. Ah lan. Galerius Dully'yi kurtarmaya çalışmış. Dully de hücredeki adamdı. Yani bir kısım kaçıyor, bir kısım kaçamıyor. Bir önceki sona göre bir tık daha iyi. Bu kaldığımız son
Sounds like you meant a lot to her. I'd love to hear your story. You two look exhausted.
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to...
bakalım bu son kaç numaraymış. Bu 3 numara. İlk numara sonsuza kadar orada kaldığımız en kötüsü. 2 numara sadece kadının kaçtığı. Bir tık iyi. 3 numara yanında birkaç kişi daha kaçırdık. Orası bir tık daha iyi. Şimdi en iyi sona gidiyoruz. Bu en iyi son çok uğraştırdı işte. Şuradan bir adım geriden alayım. O kadar ilerisi olmasın. Dört saat uğraştık, 4 saat. Ve hani çok felsefi konuşma var, bir yerden sonra bayıyor. Hani tam verimini de alamadık. Şimdi buraya Plague diye bir şey yerleştiriyoruz. Bu Greek sanırım. Bu Sümer. Yazıyorum. Yoksa bu mu Sümer? Bu Mısır galiba. Evet. Tamam, Mısır. Bu Sümer. Bu da Roman olması lazım. Obelisk çalışıyor. Ve Temple'ın kapısı açılıyor. Temple'a gelmek de bayağı uğraştırıyor. Nasıl uğraştırıyor? Öncelikle bu 4 parçayı bulacağız. Bir tanesi boşta duruyor. Tapınan birinin arkasında. Sonra bir tanesi şeydeydi. Yeraltının da altına indik. Bize adam ok falan çekmişti hatta. Sonra bir tanesi hücredeki adam da tableti bize vermiyor. Seçim var. Seçimle başkanı değiştireceğiz. Gelen başkan onu serbest bırakacak. Ondan sonra bize tablet verecek. Seçimi kazanmak için de 2 aday var. Bir tanesi Sentius zaten. Diğeri de Moral bir şeyler. Onu devre dışı bırakıyoruz. Devre dışı bırakmak için uğraştık zaten. Karısıyla gittik konuştuk. Şarap aldık geldik falan. Adamı devre dışı bıraktık güç bela. Böyle şeyleri vardı. Gizli şeyler vardı. Şantaj yaptık. Sonra yerine Galerius koyduk. Aa, biri koşturuyor. Şöyle bir durdurayım. Yerine Galerius'u koyduk. Ama Galerius'u koymak da kolay değil. Onun için de bayağı iş yaptık. O da şey istiyordu böyle. Halktan oy alacağız. Oy almak için onlara yardım edeceğiz falan. Mesela hastalar var. Hastalara iletiyoruz. İlaç iletiyoruz. Bunu Galerius'ta iletiyoruz ki onun şeyi artsın. Halkın gözünde. Prestiji artsın. Ondan sonra böyle 3 tane oy aldık. Dördüncü için bir tur daha dönmemiz gerekiyor da üşendim. Birisine para verdim, öyle oyunu satın aldım. Ufak bir çakallık yaptık. Ondan sonra bir tableti öyle aldık. Bir tableti direkt aldık mı hatırlayamadım. Bir dakika, ona bir bakayım. Egyptian ve Mysterious oradan gelmiş. Bir tanesini boşta bulduk, çöktük direkt, o rahattı zaten. Evet. Tabletleri alıyoruz. Buraya yerleştiriyoruz. Yani asıl olay bu tabletleri almak aslında. Bu tabletleri almak için bayağı uğraştık. Tabletler uğraştırıcı birisi. Şimdi tamam. Şu an Galerius'u işe yolladık mesela. Bizim için bütün her şeyi hallediyor. Hasta birine ilaç götürüyor. İntihar edecek birisi vardı, onu kurtarıyor falan. Adamı yarıştan çekiyor, kendisi yarışa giriyor. Hücredeki adamı çıkaracak falan. Şimdi speak his name. Öyle başlayalım. Alayım mı? Ha, pardon, Plüto. Bunlar Romalı heykelleri. Buraya geliyoruz. Burası Yunan'dan. Heykelden değil de mimariden. Yunan'da Hades. Sonra buraya geldik. Mısır. Bu kısımda Mısır tanrısının adını söyleyeceğiz. Osiris. Burası da Sümer. Evet. Şimdi Lord of Underworld. Dün işte burada diyaloglarda hata yaptık.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce
Ve
myself.
Hades'e
As you
geldik.
have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians,
Tabi tek adı Hades
to the
değil.
Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You are unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will.
Şimdi. Buraları uzun uzun konuştuk dün. Kendini falan anlatıyor. Şöyle açsam.
My
Dur bakayım.
story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific.
Bir kısmını
What
aç.
do you wish to know? This
Persephone'den
is my
başlasın.
beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpine to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal.
Bu da bize heykellerden konuşuyor.
Your gaze lingers too long.
Öyle sıradan.
It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals.
Dün izledik ama
Not one
bir daha
I gave myself.
izleyelim.
Your ancestors revered me because to them,
My knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey. My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords: desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while an acquired taste can be addictive. No. Long ago I swore to Persephone that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that. That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumutubal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions. As you wish. It has come to be known simply as the Underworld, and it exists because of a wager I made long ago.
Evet, işte bütün olay burada aslında.
That is a long story, one that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Persephone saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Persephone could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave
Ah Persephone ah.
she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Persephone's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Persephone and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting. There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names, but perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Persephone. As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths, to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives, and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before, and made all the same mistakes. After
Ses şu an konuşmuyorum da yayının sesi geliyor mu?
and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing.
Durmuyor.
On the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods and ensured their foundations were
Ha senden gitmiş tamam. Orayı okumadım.
To ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's obol, or as coins for the ferryman. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of... In
Buraları
fact,
geçiyorum.
almost all of the tokens are accounted for. Only two remain.
2 tane kaldı diyor ama
So after
aslında
this
kalmadı.
wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Persephone is along with it.
2 tane kaldı diyor ama kalmadı. Onlar bizde çünkü biz gelecekten gidiyoruz.
It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer, and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place as if describing memories of a dream. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted and distorted over generations.
Gılgamış destanı mıydı o?
Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place, in their priests' pursuit of profit. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning, and in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story contained only a seed of truth.
Hepsi gerçeği kendine göre yorumluyor.
Of course.
Tamam, şimdi başlayalım olaya. Şimdi bunu ikna edeceğiz. iki seçenek var. Ya ikna edeceğiz ya savaşacağız. Savaşta şöyle, buna savaşamıyoruz. Oku çekip sağda Persephone vardı ya. Onun kabinini kırıyoruz. Onun tacı düşüyor. Sonra bu tacı alıyoruz. Döngüyü sıfırlıyoruz. Tekrar buraya geliyoruz. Tacı bunun önüne atıyoruz. Senin Persephone'ini öldürdüm diye. Bu şok. Şok olunca şey yapıyor işte, bizi salıyor. Yani şey yapıyor. Hani ya insanları salarsın ya da tekrar öldürün falan filan konuşuyoruz, böyle atarlanıyoruz. Biraz diş gösteriyoruz, öyle olunca salıyor. Diğeri de ikna etmek. O ikisi aynı son sayılıyor. O yüzden hani son 5 yok mesela.
That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing.
Şimdi
That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife, a prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, two were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets and rings fashioned from gold.
burada soruyoruz. Peki neden altın?
Display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold. And when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana.
Bir su içelim.
That woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate but conscious, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels.
Aslında burada hepsini öldürmeyip mesela sadece onu öldürse, kalanları tutsa belki sıkıntı olmayacak.
I give your kind a second chance at life, as well as ample warning about my law. And when you disobey, and you always disobey, you force my hand, bringing terrible suffering upon yourselves. And so you ask if I am the one destroying your lives. And I say, no, you destroy yourselves I am merely the means by which you do it. When my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. Consolation prize of sorts. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as Furies. I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
Özetle şey diyor. Sana nasıl davranmasını istiyorsan öyle davran gibi.
Enough. You clearly know nothing. Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example? I've seen no such thing, but in any case, taking one's own life is a self-directed act. It is not one that is done to others, however they may be affected by it. Therefore, it cannot be said that one who commits suicide has done anything unto others. Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. A literal interpretation helps to minimize the ambiguities of your primitive language. Supposing you are right, and my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want? Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked?
Şimdi birkaç tane günah sayabiliyoruz. Sonra bunu diyoruz.
Do you honestly think you could do better?
Yani daha iyisini yapamayız gibi.
I should strike you down for that. Now, did you have any other questions before your reckoning?
Bunu böyle zorlayacağız amacımız.
Very well. Good. then now it is time for your reckoning. Only, it seems, something is wrong. It has long been within my power to see to the hearts of mortals and weigh their deeds in life. But when I peer into you, I see only a blank slate, as if you did not exist until you appeared in this city. How is this possible? Charon, where did you find this one?
I do not remember ferrying you. How did you come here?
Hatırlıyorsun ama daha değil.
If that is true, then I sense the intervention of someone powerful.
How did you come to be in this time, mortal? Who brought you here?
Burada bunu söylemeyeceğiz, yalan söyleyeceğiz.
Impossible. No mortals possess such power. Not yet, but I will learn the truth. Enough of this. It seems I will need to put your reckoning on hold for now. But answer this. Why have you come here? What is it you seek?
Zaten kuralı bitirmeye geldik. Bunu çekersek savaş.
Your hubris is amusing, so I will allow you to make your case. But I warn you, if you anger me or waste my time with lies or wrong-headed arguments, you face death here. So, tell me, why should I put an end to the so-called golden rule?
Şimdi bunu dersek nereden biliyorsun diyor, atarlanıyor. Ben dün bunu dedim sanırım.
That is a very serious accusation, mortal. What sin have I committed? What evidence do you have to support it? Every one of those people was guilty of failing to ensure their peers lived virtuously. They failed collectively, and so they were punished collectively. The Romans understand this, as did the Greeks before them. Ah, but I am a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect me to treat you as I treat my own kind? You are not a peer. You are not a respected equal. Let me ask you this. Do you treat insects as you wish to be treated? Do you care for their well-being as you would your fellow man? Do you ensure they have food and shelter and protection from predators? Do you give them rights?
İyi savunuyor. Ama
Of course not. Because
yalan
that
yok.
would be absurd, just as it would be absurd for me to treat your kind as equals.
Bunu mu dedim? Bunu dedim.
My love for her does not mean I am not superior, now that she is mortal.
Bunu deyince kızdı işte.
Where to begin? Our lifespans exceed yours by thousands of years, in which time we accumulate vast wisdom and a mastery of technology you cannot begin to imagine. It would be most unwise to get ideas about attacking me, because that is the source of our power over you. kin have no superiors.
Bunu dersek atarlanıyor. O yüzden böyle diyelim.
That is true. Go on. Make your point, mortal.
Bu diyeyim de ağzımıza vursun.
Let me ponder that for a moment. If you are right, then it would follow that all this time I have been in the wrong. But no, the very thought of it grieves me. How can I accept your argument when doing so would make me a tyrant and a monster?
Ne dersem yine atarlanacak biliyorum. Çünkü çok atarlı biri. Her şeye atarlanıyor. Atarlamadan duramıyor. Sonra şu iyi gibi ya.
Your hubris grows tiresome. You will make a fine statue.
Aa, işe yaramadı. Demit. Başaramadık usta. Aksiyon hazır olalım. En son aksiyona girdiğimizde bizi bir güzel dövmüştü. Böyle bir sıkıntı var. O yüzden aksiyona girip girmeme konusunda emin değilim. Her şeyi doğru yaptık ya.
Me, a god, with that primitive weapon? Pathetic.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Direkt oku yedik ya. Bir tane daha yedim. Çok iyi. Of. Yok, tacı aldım. Orada E'ye spamladım. Çok uyuz ya.
And here you are.
Bir daha
Allow me
deneyeceğim.
to introduce myself.
Hayır,
As you
cevaplara
have already
bakıyorum, herif
gathered, I've been known by many names.
uymuyor cevap.
Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You are unlike the others, aren't you? And what that they would prefer. My story, your it is a matter.
Alırız hızlı hiç.
No, you will talk more as you. You see, with you yet for a time with Mike, we begin, but my she and so horrid, and then it. But here a human. Let's see if he then my and so that and here. They will, and of course, after it, to late some in your, it is late that a worry, and so from.
Saraydan dışarı çıksam az önce kaçmanın
Of
yolunu biliyordum.
course.
Bir tane solda ip var. Onun gittiği yere bir tane ip var falan. Direkt gideceğimiz yere gidiyordu ama saraydan çıkması çok zor. Dar koridor, bir sürü adam var.
That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing. I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability. No attempt. This should be agreed. The Roman, even the so, it is this. Yet none. For you, perhaps. Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example? The midwife and the palace, yes. How is that inconsistent with the rule? The rule is do unto others, meaning other people. Those statues are something else now. Bloodless shadows, mere shapes of their former selves. They are forsaken. What happens to them is no concern of mine. Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning. Supposing you're right, and my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want? Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked? Do you honestly think you could do better? I should strike you down for that. Now, did you have any other questions before your reckoning? Very well. Good. And now it is.
Bu sefer başaracağız usta.
Only, it seems, something is wrong. It has long been within my power to see to the house when I pick Carol.
If that.
How did you?
Okey, bunu diyelim. Az önce alttakini dedik.
My kin departed long ago, and Proserpine slumbered for 3,000 years. Tread lightly, mortal. Enough of this. It seems I will need to put your reckoning on hold for now. And answer this. Why have... Your hubris is amusing. If you and... So, tell me, why should I put an end to the so-called Golden Rule?
Bunu dedik. Burada olmadı.
How so? And be specific. You have made a grave allegation, and I expect you to back it up. True. I have witnessed him. He is a volatile and confused. His cruelty does seem to grow greater.
Acaba önceki sefer bunları deseydik olur muydu?
Pathetic. You will need to do a lot better than that.
Ama yetmedi. Birkaç örnek daha lazımmış.
That is a very serious accusation, mortal. What sin have I committed? What evidence do you have to support it? Every one of those people was guilty of failing to ensure their peers lived virtuously. They failed collectively, and so they were punished collectively. But let me ask you this. Do you ensure? Of course not. Where to begin? beings exceed yours by thousands of years, in which time we accumulate vast wisdom and because that is the source of our power over you. You could say that. My kin have no superiors. That is true. Go on. Make your point, mortal. Let me ponder that for a moment. If you are right, then it would follow that all this time I have been in the wrong. But no, the very thought of it grieves me. How can I accept your argument when doing so would make me a tyrant and a monster?
Evet, burada üsttekine dedik. Buraya kadar iyiydi.
Wait. What? What are you You have spoken eloquently, and yet, if what you say is true, it follows that my wager was fatally flawed from the beginning. But that would mean Jupiter, Preservator's father, who knew more about you than anyone, proposed a wager I could never win. Why would he do that?
Derse katılamıyor. Aynı şekil. Hepsi bunu atarlandıracak şey.
A mistake, but he is the best and greatest of us.
Bu da değil.
Your words sting me, mortal. But perhaps it is what I deserve. As difficult as this is to admit, I have suspected as much for a long time now. And I cannot deny it any longer. I've been so fixated on taking my beloved to Elysium that every time one of you sinned, it wore away my hope of being with her again. In time, I began to despise your kind for making her believe that you could ever be better than you are. But my rage was not born of malice, quite the opposite. Everything I have done, I did because I loved her. Who knew this empathy of yours, which you celebrate so much, could have such a dark underside? This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this, if I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend. Very well. I will
Elysium'u
have Charon make
kaçırdık.
arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest. Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now, are you ready?
Hazırız uşağım. Hazırız kaptan. Burası... Ha, Temple. Temple'ın önü, hatta buradan girmiştik.
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.
Albert. Seni
Well,
bulmaya geldik
here I
ama
am.
bayağı bir şey yaptık.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your... know who you are. I barely remember how I got here myself. Oh, did that
Nasıl?
lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of time, learning about the history of this place, and it is extraordinary. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, preventing the suicide of a man in debt bondage,
Bu ne?
freeing a falsely accused prisoner, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
Yani diyelim.
What? Oh, I see. For a moment there I thought you were serious. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
Yemedi. Ben yolu biliyorum, tamam. Yine çıktık. Ne kapıyorsun mu hacı?
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make... You go on ahead.
Hava yapacaktım ya, yemedi. Önceki sonlarda havamız vardı hep. Aa, bu beni hatırlayacak mı acaba? Hatırlayacaktır muhtemelen.
You're back. But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al?
Ablacım kes numarayı.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
Oo, burası daha kısaydı. Sadece isminin Charon olduğunu biliyorduk.
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Charon, if you like. I do not enjoy that most people... That you die, my role, as the servant of the god of the...
Buraları hızlı geçeceğim. İzledik bayağı.
Usually, when people most ask you a wise decision, all you need to know is that it means I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here, nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
Underworld ömrünü tamamlamış.
I see no point in keeping you here, but I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself. Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda like...
Bir saniye. Yayının bitti kaç gözüküyor ya?
ferry you back to civilization.
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
3000 gözükmesi lazım ama yarım. İlginç ve saçma bir şey.
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. I read your book, and what the critics said about it. I guess they weren't ready for your theories about the underworld. Anyway, after everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in
Ayarlarda
Larry's
gelişmiş video
I
istatistikleri.
found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you. I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
Yaşadıklarımızı kitap yazmışız ama kimse bize inanmamış. İyice Daniel Jackson olduk. Bize inanmıyorlar, dalga geçiyorlar ama
You're
ne?
finally here. Remember me?
Ne? Ne?
It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Karen appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life. Oh, I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I
Dooley'i
sleep
de almış.
soundly every night. I'm finally my own man.
Helal olsun be.
I wouldn't change it for the world.
Tamam. Çiftçi olmuş.
I know. I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together.
Oo,
Planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there.
çağırın tabii beni de.
Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you. So you better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
Sen beni tanımıyorsun ama ben seni tanıyorum dostum. Bunlardan çok vardı.
Oh, hello.
Ha, Dolly.
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me all about you. So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work.
Ah lan,
I'm just
bunlar
teasing. Actually,
beni tanımıyor ama ben
it
hepsini
still feels
tanıyorum.
a little sacrilegious to say this. I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable. Galerius and I are engaged and expecting.
Oo,
We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us, for all of us. Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's... See you at the web.
Hello, I'm Dooley. Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you. I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. Bye-bye.
görüşürüz Dolly. Asker mi?
Hey,
Chat ifade moduna girip çıkmış.
Hi there, I'm Horatius. I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life, and reuniting Scintilla with us as well. I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot.
Yok, kanal ayarında değil. Şu ekranda. Hani kalite falan ayarlıyorsun ya orada.
Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of the ones who pioneered our paths. Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. In the words of Epictetus, as though remind yourself, your precious one. Thanks. He's not my... I see what you did there. He had more trouble adapt. He got himself disqualified from the Odyssey. So he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament, like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing... But his luck finally ran out. And his life along with it. You're not wrong. And you.
Bende de şu an normalde 3000 ayarlı ama bazen düşüyor.
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming. Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened.
Ooh,
I'm
what
not
the...
sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is we'll never see him again. Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there. Barbarians everywhere.
Değişmemiş.
He's still there, all alone. The
Oh.
last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
Katılıyorum.
You too. See you around.
You're the Oracle, right? Oh, of course, sorry. And I never got a chance to... And of course, getting me. Oh, I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable. Oh, sorry, you already know all that.
Pegasus Hava Yolları
I'm just
reklamı.
so excited. There's so much to see and learn and write about. I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. I hope to change that. One day. Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... What's that? Thank you.
Aurelia bu barcı.
Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince, and how she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life still isn't fair. Apparently, he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... What was it? Nigeria? Some people have all the luck. Really? Huh. I feel better already.
Jarya. Tamamdır.
You too. If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there. I hope so.
Artık yeni bestim var.
You are here. It's nice to finally meet you. Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see.
Modern
We're all
olmuş.
trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So, I'm studying to get into medical school. As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the... You too, don't...
Güzel. Aynı şekil devam. O tanıyamadım lan burada.
Greetings. You must be the legendary oracle. It is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance. I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades. I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won. You too, my friend.
Hepinizde kalacağım lan. Hepinizi ziyaret edeceğim.
The one we've been waiting for. I'm
Yok,
Fabia.
beni bekliyorsunuz.
I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure. I'm just so happy to be here with you and everyone together again, even if it's just for one more night. Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Karen gave me, so I just do what makes me happy. Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants.
Oh.
What a time to be alive. Thank you. I really am. You too.
Da yer altındaydı.
I take it you're the oracle everybody's talking about.
Bunu Hades'e yollasak tokatlardı aslında.
We have. I'm sorry, I don't remember. In any case, I'm Philip. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And it seems I have your catabasis. I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again.
Yapıyorsun amcam.
My sincere thanks once again.
Para lazım olmasa da böyle kendinizi yormayacak kadar takılın. Tabii ki.
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you.
Şey.
I've heard so much about you.
Kaçak ibadet eden kadın.
I'm thankful that you're here.
Sanırım.
I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives. What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it. I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber.
Oo, geri gelmiş.
Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people, like you helped him.
Yeah.
Thank you. That means a lot. And you. Oh, and
I hope this isn't too forward, but some of us are going out for a drink after this, if you'd like to join us. Wonderful.
Oraya da geliyorum. Her yere geliyorum.
Good evening.
Bu kadın deliydi en son.
Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I never... I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while. Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years. I'm already up to the 19th century, and am quite... Men have called me mad. But the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence. And you, farewell, friend.
Ben dedim ben oyunlarda ekstrovert takılırım diye. Şimdi herkesle konuşacağım.
Some soiree, innit? Ah, hello at last. You must be the oracle I've heard so much about.
Oo, bu çakal yani.
Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never been able to sell all those useless old relics I accumulated. Whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Thank you.
Neyse. Neyse.
Most gracious of you. I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now. In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice, you being the oracle and future seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest
Öyle
in.
çalışmıyorum.
I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend? Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. I won't take no for an answer.
Bu şey işte. Blockbuster. Değil mi? Ben de aynısını düşünüyorum. Bayağı kolay uyum sağlamışlar. Broadcast TV aslında Broadcast TV hala kazandırıyor. Bu olmaz. Print medya. Bu da kurtarır ya. Batsın Blockbuster'da. Kesin garanti olsun.
Of course, don't let me keep you. Thanks again for the tips, my friend.
Madem batıracağız tam batıralım. Mısır'da mıyız? Kabaş. High Ground'dan sıkıyordum ben en son.
For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the... Indeed.
Oh, indeed.
Thank you.
Hello there. Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name.
Bu şey,
After you drove Pluto off,
şeyin kızı.
Serpina came and released
Zincirle bağlı.
me. That monster got what was coming to him.
Aslında biliyordum ama.
Don't worry, nobody did.
Ama o döngüde bilmiyordum.
I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine. Thanks. You too.
Sinti olan da bunun ablası. Evde yatıyordu, bize atar yapıyordu falan. Barbarian falan yapıyordu böyle. Burada da aynı, yine insanlara barbarian falan diyor. Bu da şeyde işte, zincirle bağlı olan, kaçmaya çalışan. Scintilla, öteki Cynthia. S ile, şimdi onu C ile yapmış. Okunuşu aynı ama. O şey, deli hastanesine yatırılmış. Ben Roma imparatoru olacağım falan filan bir şeyler diyordu.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Opius. I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake. I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We find so we're living each day to the fullest. Sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now, and watching the sunset over the rolling
Hayata bak be.
and I couldn't be happier. Thank you. I'm living with Gabriella in every day I look at her, so we're living each day to the fullest. Sitting and I
Bir dakika, yanlışlıkla atladım.
I'm living with Gabriella. Every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this?
Ya atlasaydın bunları göremeyecektin.
Sitting and you too.
Bu ikisi orada da beraberdi. Hatta kızın adını söyleyince şey yapmıştı. Rufus Virgin. Bu tehdit falan ediyordu.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, adamın sesi bile değişik.
I go by Rufus now. New start, new name. Oh, and thanks, by the way, for what you did. Sorry, I'm no good with the mushy stuff. I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself. Good place for a fresh start. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet. One adjustment at a time. Good to know. Anyway, it was good practice for the new world. Security cameras and smartphones. You too. Look us up next time you're in.
Tamam. Netherland'i de yazalım.
It's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you. I wanted to thank you personally and for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff. I'm studying to be an architect again and living with Rufus in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam, just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are. You too, if you're ever in the Netherlands.
Tabii ki dostum, geleceğim. Kimse kalmadı galiba. Bitirdik. Evet, insan kalmadı artık. Siz kimsiniz? Hades, Lord of Many. Buradan Moon Reis'e selamlar.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to.
Oh,
You know her.
Caron. Behind you mu?
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time.
Persephone?
Allow me to introduce myself properly.
Oh.
I am Proserpina,
Oh.
former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention. Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected. I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath. I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way.
Ayıplanılan Hades'in için milleti zaman şeyini aldı. Hepsini yaktı, biçti. Ayıp. Aynen. Hades bunu bırakıp gitti. İkna ettik. Yani başaramayacaksın dedik. İnsanlar böyle hata yapar dedik. Siz de hata yaptınız. Bu yoldan dönün dedik. O da hak verdi. Tamam kardeşim dedi. Ben gidiyorum dedi. Yolun elişime düşerse bana bir çağrı at dedi.
Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will, one day.
Onu merak ediyordum ya.
And you, although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city? Good, because they remember you. Well done, my friend.
Ne?
Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
Ve dördüncü sonu da aldık. Kahraman oldum. Heykelimi dikmişler. Beton 70. Arkadaşlarınıza tavsiye edin diyor. Ederiz hocam. Buradan izleyen herkese tavsiye ediyoruz. Bekleyince nereye atıyor? Tarayıcı açtı. Reddit'teki sabını attı. İlginç. Neyse açık kalsın. Oyunu burada kapatıyoruz. Videoyu burada bölerim. Burada final yaparız. O yüzden gelen, izleyen herkese bir teşekkür edelim.